This is the story of a poor Filipino boy who walked onto the America's Got Talent stage with nothing but a dream, a shaky microphone in his hands, and a song in his heart. What happened next made judges cry, shocked the entire audience, and pushed Simon Cowell to slam the golden buzzer in one of the fastest reactions AGT has ever seen. This is the unforgettable journey of a young talent who turned a classic rock anthem into a life-changing miracle. His name was Liam Reyes. 14 years old, barefoot when he practiced, barefoot when he sang, barefoot when he dreamed. He came from a small coastal town in the Philippines, where fishing boats slept on the sand and children learned to sing before they learned to spell their names. Liam lived with his mother and two younger sisters in a wooden hut that shook every time the ocean winds passed by. They did not have much. No running water, no proper electricity, no real instruments, but they had music. And for Liam, music wasn't just sound. It was survival. Every night, after helping his mother sell dried fish by the roadside, Liam would sit under a dim lamp powered by an old car battery, strumming a battered, cracked guitar he had found in a junkyard. He fixed it using fishing wire and the patience only poverty teaches. And even though the guitar looked hopeless, his voice was anything but. One day, a foreign tourist visiting their province heard him singing by the shore, his voice echoing across the waves. She recorded him, posted the video online, and within weeks, it went viral. Not because he was famous, not because he was performing on a big stage, but because his voice carried emotion that made people stop scrolling, take a breath, and listen. Someone from an AGT scouting team saw it, and for the first time in his life, Liam received an email that didn't ask for money, didn't offer discounts, didn't promote anything. It said, "We would like to invite you to audition for America's Got Talent." He didn't believe it at first. His mother didn't believe it. The entire village didn't believe it. Flying to America, a poor boy from a fishing community. It sounded impossible, but a charity organization stepped in, bought their tickets, and within weeks, young Liam was on his first plane ride ever. Pressing his face against the window, staring at clouds, whispering to himself, "Papa, I hope you're watching." His father had passed away when he was 8, lost to the sea during a storm. Liam always sang to feel close to him again. The moment they arrived in Los Angeles, everything felt unreal. The towering buildings, the blinding lights, the cold wind that didn't smell like saltwater. Liam clutched his backpack tightly. Inside it was his repaired guitar, the most valuable thing he owned. Backstage at AGT, he looked both terrified and amazed at the same time. Contestants practiced everywhere. Dancers stretching, magicians shuffling cards, vocalists humming scales. Liam stood quietly in the corner, his mother's hand gently touching his shoulder. "You're ready," she whispered, even though she herself was shaking. When the stage manager called his name, Liam stepped forward, feeling his heartbeat in his fingertips. The curtains opened, and he saw thousands of faces, bright lights, giant cameras, the iconic judges' table illuminated at the center. Simon Cowell leaned forward, watching him curiously. Heidi smiled warmly. Sophia waved. Howie nodded encouragingly. But Liam's legs trembled so hard he struggled to speak. Simon said, "Hello. What's your name?" His voice cracked. I'm Liam. From the Philippines. What will you be doing today?" Simon asked. "I will sing. Hotel California." The audience murmured in surprise. A rock classic. Not easy, not simple, and definitely not typical. For a 14-year-old boy. Simon raised an eyebrow. "Why that song?" Liam took a breath. "It was my father's favorite. Sing it for him." The crowd softened instantly. Simon nodded gently, and with just a small encouraging smile, he said, "All right, Liam. Take your time, and good luck." The track began softly, but Liam shook his head. "No music," he whispered. The room froze. "You want to sing a cappella?" Simon asked. "Yes, sir, the way I learned it." Simon leaned back, intrigued now more than ever. "Okay, go ahead." The boy closed his eyes. And then, magic. A single, delicate note floated out of his chest. Pure, haunting, drenched in emotion. It wasn't the powerhouse belt of a trained singer. It wasn't the polished performance of a seasoned musician. It was raw, honest, almost painfully beautiful. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. His voice cracked slightly on hair, but instead of weakening the song, it made it feel more human, more real. The judges leaned forward. The audience held their breath. No one moved, afraid to break the fragile spell weaving through the theater. Warm smell of colitas, rising up through the air. He sang slowly, gently, as if each lyric was a memory. As if his father was standing right there beside him. And then he reached the first chorus. Something happened that no one expected. The boy's voice opened up. Not loud, but powerful in a different way. Emotional, deep, soulful. "Welcome to the Hotel California." A woman in the audience wiped her eyes. A man in the front row pressed his palms against his mouth. Heidi gently placed a hand on her chest, whispering, "Oh my God." By the second chorus, people were crying openly. But it was the final verse that shattered the room. And in the master's chambers, they gathered for the feast. He wasn't just singing lyrics, he was reliving something. His face tightened with emotion, his voice shaking as he pushed through the last lines. "You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave." And on the final, "leave," his voice cracked again, painful, vulnerable, honest. He lowered his head, and a tear slipped down his cheek. Silence. A silence so heavy you could feel it in your bones. Then, an explosion of applause. The entire audience rose to their feet instantly, screaming, cheering, crying. But Liam didn't look up. He stood still, breathing shakily, overwhelmed. His mother cried backstage, covering her mouth with her hands. Howie was the first to speak. That wasn't a performance," he said softly. "That was a soul speaking." Heidi brushed away tears. "You took a song we all know, and made it your own life story." Sophia added, "You made us feel every word." And then, Simon. At first, he didn't say anything. He simply stared at the boy, his expression unreadable. But then he leaned forward and said quietly, "Liam, I've judged thousands of singers in my life. And every once in a while, someone walks in and reminds me why I love this show. You're not just singing. You're healing. You're honoring someone you love. And you're touching millions without even trying." He paused. "That was one of the most beautiful and sincere performances I have ever heard on America's Got Talent." The crowd roared. Simon continued, "And you know what?" He stood up. "I don't want to waste another second." He slammed his hand onto the golden buzzer. Gold exploded everywhere, raining down in shimmering waves as the audience screamed. Liam stumbled back in shock, covering his face. His mother ran out from backstage, hugging him tightly as confetti stuck to their hair. Liam's knees buckled, and he fell to the ground, overwhelmed, sobbing into his mother's arms. Simon walked onto the stage, something he rarely does. He knelt beside the boy and placed a hand on his shoulder. "You deserve this," he whispered. "Your father would be proud." The cameras caught it, the world felt it, and within hours, the clip went viral across the globe. Millions shared it, millions cried watching it. People from every country, every language, every background left comments like, "I felt his father's soul in that song. This boy sings with the weight of the world. That wasn't Hotel California. That was a story." But for Liam, life changed instantly. His family was offered a new home. His sisters received scholarships. His mother was offered work. And Liam himself was invited to sing on international stages, TV shows, charity events, and concerts. But even as fame grew around him, he never forgot where he came from. He performed barefoot at every major show, not as a gimmick, but as a tribute to the life that raised him. In the AGT finale, he sang the full live band version of Hotel California, dedicating it to all families who lost someone and all children waiting for their chance. His voice soared across the venue like a prayer. He didn't just win the season. He won the world. His story became a testament that even the poorest of backgrounds can produce the richest of talents. That music doesn't come from equipment or money or studios. It comes from pain, love, memory, and heart. Today, Liam continues to inspire millions. Not because he became famous, but because he proved something powerful. When a child believes, when a mother supports, and when a dream is stronger than circumstances, miracles happen. And it all started with a boy, barefoot on a beach, singing Hotel California to the wind.